Yeah, so initially, like I used to be quite avid, or I am an avid gym goer. So I used to go a lot on my own and enjoyed lifting weights. And then basically I hurt my back on a clean and press. Not like horrendously badly, but fairly badly. I basically tried to rehab that myself, and long story short, was stuck in a injury cycle for about a year of kind of starting to get better, hurting it again, then starting to get better, pushing, hurting again, and was stuck in that pattern for about a year. So finally made the decision to start looking at different places to get some help with rehabbing that and training more intelligently. So even though I've enjoyed going to the gym for like 6 or 7 years, I've never had a coach and I've done like odd PT sessions, but just for technique-based things as one-offs. Yeah, so I was doing all my own training, like I was doing all my own programming. I was just going with friends and stuff, and they were all like big commercial gyms. So the gym floor was always rammed, you couldn't get on stuff. And so GTC differs in lots of ways. Or you've got six squat racks and designated booking spaces, so you always have access to equipment. You have your own designated squat racks. You're never fighting to get on things. You can come in and do your whole planned session like quickly, without having to go and wait for people for ages trying to get on equipment. And then also you've got the fact that the coaches are here, so they're for me, I think it's like the perfect level of coaching or personal training. Like I felt I was at a level that I didn't need somebody stood over me counting my reps on a bench press, but it's good to have someone there. So if you have a question, you can just ask it, or they're watching from afar, and if they see something that's worth mentioning, they'll give it to you, but you don't feel that someone's breathing down your neck for the entire 60 minutes, 90 minutes that you're doing your session, which for me is like the perfect in between. And also you just have a coach that you can go to at any point with questions. They do your programming for you, like you're having one-to-one catch-ups to just run through how everything's going, which again is something I really enjoy. So far in terms of success, like I think it's been good to go back to, not back to basics, but go back to thinking more like holistically about all the exercises, like thinking about your breathing, how that interacts, like the part of the body that you're focusing on moving in the movement, as well as just moving the weight. It's been good to focus on those things. Also, it's worked in the respect that like I feel I've made a lot of progress and like rehabbing that back injury, and also just learning about training in general. So like it's been good for that rehab, but also just learning about nutrition or learning about the psychology of pain, the psychology of recovery. Like I feel like more than half the battle with injury is actually psychologically as opposed to like the physical pain of it. So that's all been great. And so future wise, like I started initially when the back pain was quite bad, and we're doing the three coach sessions, and then as that got better, like I dropped that to 2 because I still enjoy training like on my own in my own time and stuff, but I like pairing that with still having a coach that you're accountable to, that you can go to for advice, and having the 2 sessions in here where as I was saying, you don't need to wait for a squat rack or a bench or anything like that. You can come in and do the whole session. So I tend to do like my sessions in here that involve that stuff. So like squat sessions, deadlift sessions, bench, the ones that require that equipment that's always a nightmare to get a hold of in like a big Nuffield or Pure Gym or something. Like you guys have that chart of like a pain rehab that it's never linear, and I think that's like a really good thing to think about, and it has been like the journey has been like that. So in terms of that pain, like it's a lot less frequent. If there is any tiny little thing, it doesn't tend to last very long, and it seems to be more psychological and nerves are just overactive versus there being any sort of damage there now, because I feel strong in the lifts, and it's been good to like slowly progress those up. So even in deadlift now, like the natural movement's fine. It tends to be more just like being jittery or psychologically still kind of having the fear of being in certain positions or doing certain movements, rather than there actually being any sort of physical injury there. Just to keep building on the base that I've built in the first 6 months. I feel like I'm making good, consistent progress with increasing the load that I'm doing on all exercises, which is great psychologically and physically, because I just enjoy getting stronger. So my intention for next year is to keep doing my two sessions a week with you guys. And
so is that 2 sessions coached and then 2 like just doing your own training here? Or?
So 2 sessions in here with the coaches, it's just so I can still get that feedback and ask them questions around certain movements and certain exercises if I need to. And then the other 2 sessions, I do have the option of doing them here, so I can just book in and get the benefit of having the squat racks and all the equipment in my book slot. But at the moment, I actually do my 2 sessions, my 2 open sessions at Nuffield, just because it's closer to my home and just to mix up the venue. I think it's definitely worth giving it a shot. Like, you don't have I wouldn't say you have anything to lose. You know, you can try it out for 3-6 months and see how it goes. But I imagine for most people, if they're stuck in some sort of injury cycle, as I found myself, I thought for a whole year, I thought I could solve it myself. Thinking, I go to the gym all the time. Like, I've been going for 6 years. Like, if I can definitely fix this myself. So if people are in that situation, or they don't, even if they don't feel they have that level of knowledge to help rehab themselves, then they're definitely worth reaching out to get help with it. And even for people who don't have injuries, I still think like it's still good to be accountable to a coach and to have somebody else to ask, and so improve in that respect. I kind of wish now that it sounds cliche, but I wish that I'd got coaching much earlier in my gym going career, let's call it. But I was just happy doing it myself, didn't want to pay the money. But then now, having done it, I feel like I wish when I was healthy I'd got it, because I could have just, all of my focus could have been on just getting stronger, like trying to put on muscle mass with the help of you guys, and not have to focus so much on the rehab side. So yeah, I would definitely give it a shot.